Welcome to Garage Reviews, where we're filming this genuinely from my garage. I'm Luke, and today we have the Super7 Toho Ultimates 12,000 degrees Godzilla. Now, thank you to Toy Federation for supplying this. I did not get it for free, I paid for them, but they were the only place which actually had this in stock, so I still want to shout them out. You can follow them on Instagram and or their YouTube channel, which I will leave both in the description below. But yeah, let's just get into this. Now, before we get into the figure, let me just get into the packaging real quick. Let me just say this slip cover is amazing. It's got beautiful texturing of like Godzilla skin in there, showing the exposed ribs on the side melting. Was a beautiful touch, and honestly made me want to keep this. I usually throw away my boxes, but I think I'm going to keep these. And here's the actual box itself. Now, there's nothing too much special. It's just a very nice presentation with a beautiful orange backdrop. But at the back of it, it does give a brief description for Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, which is really cool. I love this artwork. But that's enough for the box. How does the figure itself fare out? Now, I gotta say, this is impressive. I never owned any of the Godzillas that Super7 has put out. I do own the Biollante, which is complete garbage. It's a garbage figure. It falls apart, and it honestly put me off of this whole line. But I gotta say, this is making me hop back on it. Pause. Let's just take a second to appreciate the beautiful sculpting that's going on. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but everything about this figure is asymmetrical. Nothing is the same on either side. Like, look at these two shins. Even the shins are different. The feet are different. Oh my god. It's beautiful. It gives this great sense of like he's actually melting. And speaking of melting, Jesus, look at those dorsal plates. They look like hot candle wax. And it's in the best way possible. I don't mean that as a diss. I mean that in the best way possible. It looks phenomenal. Like, oh my god. And it goes nice all the way down to the tip of the tail, where it becomes just pure bone. But speaking of the tail, let's get into my first gripe about this figure, and that the tail is not as flexible as I want it to be. It's nothing bad. I'm just so used to SH Monster Arts with the beautiful flow to it that this just feels a bit clunky, I'd say. And another thing I don't like is the connection between the tail and the actual body. Look at that gap. Jesus. And it doesn't go any more in. That's as max that it goes. I mean, I guess it makes moving the tail around a bit easier, but I kind of wish that was shrunk. I would have taken the limiting articulation for a better silhouette. But like I said, that is a very small complaint that honestly doesn't really take away from the figure in any sense besides the articulation feeling a bit limited. But speaking of articulation, let's just go on and move on to that. It's pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, it's not as good as, again, SH Monster Arts, or hell, even Hyatt I think has better range of motion, but it's not bad. And one thing I can say over SH Monster Arts is it doesn't feel like each joint's gonna pop off. But I do gotta give you a warning: when posing this guy, be very careful with the skeleton arm. Just moving the hinge feels like it's just gonna break. And I don't know if that's just, my copy. Maybe I just need to heat mine up. But, it's still something to look out for. Because, yeah, like, that feels nasty to bend that hinge. Ooh, yeah, just right there, it feels like it's gonna snap off. But speaking of exposed skeletons, here we have the accessory, well, his one and only accessory, which is a Godzilla head fully melted. Now, this is beautiful. It's sculpted beautiful. The paint job is just amazing. And it's got a hinge at the mouth, so it can open about that far. And it's pretty easy to put on. The head is on a dumbbell joint, so you just gotta pop that off. And then it does take a bit of force. Okay, no, it takes a lot more force. Oh god, that's a workout right there. But yeah, that's how it looks like with the fully melted head. And honestly, I might like this look even more, simply because the mouth can actually hinge open, so you can have him screaming in his final moments, which I guess is a little morbid, but it's Godzilla. Alright, let's move on to some size comparisons. Here we have the Hyatt Toys Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla. And he's about, I want to say, an inch taller? Maybe around that, because I know this guy's in 8-inch scale, and I want to say this is a 7-inch scale figure. Not 100% sure though. Next up, we have the Titanic Creations Gorgo, and this is honestly a stellar figure. Titanic Creations, search him up on Twitter. they're going to be coming out with a green version to more match Steve Ditko's art of Gorgo. So make sure to check that out. And lastly, here we have the Toho Ultimates Biollante. Now, while this might look cool, it falls to power easily and is honestly not worth the $90. But this right here, 100% worth it. This is one of the only Toho Ultimates I own, and it's probably not going to be my last, because this has made me super excited for their Godzilla -1 - color, which I was able to pre-order before it sold out, so you guys will be getting a review of that as soon as I get it in. And that's the end of my review for the Godzilla Toho Ultimates 1200 Degrees Godzilla. Now, if y'all liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment on what y'all want me to review next. This is my first episode, by the way, so we're just figuring things out. I'm gonna get a better mic, gonna get better backdrops so I actually can focus properly. So I'm sorry about that, but if you guys have any sort of figures you want me to review in the future, leave it down below, and have a great day.